Hey, Badger Brothers. It's not a great day today. I struggled about this one. See what we're going to be talking about today. There's a lot going on right now about saying that this shouldn't be made political, and I agree to an extent. However, I do want to make a point out. If there's a group of people who are constantly doing something, pushing an agenda, and it is causing this type of harm, why shouldn't we talk about it? I'm going to try to keep this as clean as possible. This is very ugly. If you have kids around, you should not allow them to watch this stream. We're going to go into some very heavy duty stuff. I watched all of the videos that got scraped from YouTube from this person, this degenerate, this killer. And there's a lot to share. And the press is not sharing everything. So I think it's my duty to showcase exactly what I'm seeing so you can see it from a conservative lens and also give some background what's happening in the trans community. With that, this heathen shot 17 people. 14 were kids. 2 are dead, an 8 and 10-year-old. 2 other children in critical condition but expected to survive. With that, I would rather turn focus on how did this happen, who let it happen, and frankly, even though people are screaming, don't make this political, who to blame? Because there's going to be a lot of people. Already on the right, people are claiming, oh, this is a white male problem. Fine, I'll own it. There are a lot of white people who do school shootings. But let's look at the bigger picture and look at the specific demographics of those white people. Just like we should be looking at a lot of the black people that commit a lot of the violence and look at that community. I admit, wherever the violence is coming from, look at the community to determine what is causing it. I agree. At least I'm man enough to say, yeah, it's happening and we need to address it. And that's what I want to do today. Here we go. First off, he had multiple journals. He left also a suicide note. Some are calling it a manifesto. It is not a manifesto. It is a suicide note. He wrote it in plain English. And the reason why I say plain English is his journals are written in a codified Cyrillic. What's disgusting is if you look and read it, I'm not going to force you to do so. I wouldn't recommend it. It's very sick. Basically shows a very sick and sorrowful individual. Let me rephrase that. A very sick individual who's sorry for himself and sorry for the pain that he's going to impart upon his own family. He does not care about the children. He laughs about getting ready to kill the children. He apologizes to his family that he isn't normal, which is odd because as part of his journals, he admits that he isn't trans. He is a man. This is an individual whose parents allowed him to go through a social reassignment, whatever that is, where you basically pretend you're a girl when he was a minor. And the family supported that. Keep that in mind. He's 23 when he did this. He lived at home. He had access to a lot of firearms living under his family's house who were very supportive of his transition. He doesn't believe that what he's about to do is his parents' fault. I would take umbrage with that. He knows explicitly that what he's doing is wrong multiple times. He knows what he's doing is selfish and violent and awful, but he doesn't seem to care. What's hilarious, in his own delusion, he believes empathy and self-sacrifice is his best traits. In fact, he believes he is doing this for some sort of greater good, as insane as that sounds. Within his suicide note, he is clearly depressed, and he believes he's doing this because he is striking out at the world because of the injustice. What kind of injustice? Well, he whines about he's got bills. He whines about that jobs are shitty and they're shitty people. Wow, what a horrible POS to say that, hey, I'm going to go take the lives of a bunch of children because the world is tough. The world is hard, and I'm going to take life from a bunch of innocent children. He wants to inspire people to fight injustice. He wants more copycats. And he does encourage people to pray for the victims of those that he's going to take and their families. but he doesn't care about the victims, but he knows that other people will care. The type of mental gymnastics you have to go through to parse out this person's suicide note will rack your brain with inconsistencies, incongruencies, and just hurt your head. Within this, he shows a video of him preparing. He goes on to speak about he blames BlackRock and Exxon and supports Brandon Herrera for president, which is it's just a bunch of inane ramblings. It doesn't make any sense. It's almost like he's gone on X and just grabbed a bunch of leftoid talking points and pasted it together. He does repeatedly say he hates those kids. He F those kids. And in one of his conclusions, he says, well, I didn't ask to be alive, and therefore those kids didn't ask for death. So it's a fair trade. And he's going to go make his own effing stars. He posted up targets with Jesus. He clearly hated Christianity. His guns were scribbled on some very heinous things. A lot of the left-wing media are saying that they were right-wing. You can clearly see, I'm not going to read these, that they are not right-wing. This guy's an absolute lunatic. I'm not going to read these. He clearly hates Christianity. He really wants to die. He admits for many years that he is suicidal. He idolizes people who have killed. And again, for someone who loves Donald Trump, he definitely wants Donald Trump dead. He pointed the guns at himself multiple times. Do you believe in God? You're going to see how that plays out in some of the comments coming from the left. Again, I hope nobody watches this. This is just disgusting, but there's a point to all of it, and that is this is coming from a dark segment of the left that they are cultivating. This is being cultivated by the left and being fostered and encouraged. There are lots of satanic messaging within this, references to 666, upside down crosses, demonic symbology. He even wrote what he sees in the mirror. He sees a demonic fear in the mirror when he looks at himself. Is that because he sees himself and the demon he is becoming, the demon he is, or the demon that is inside of him? We'll never know. Notice the language here, not this language, but here for those that can make it out. It's easy to say this is some sort of Cyrillic. However, when you throw it into translator, it does not read it. So it is some sort of Cyrillic code. I do have buddies on X who are able to quickly identify this, who come from Russia and speak English, and they figured out very quickly that what he has done is created his own code. He basically utilizes letters from the Cyrillic alphabet and substitutes those for English, but the words are in English. They're just substituting English letters for Cyrillic letters. After that, it was very quickly to decode. Within that picture, he wrote who with a demonic picture. When will it end? Help me. I don't want to. Help. And then kill yourself. It sounds like somebody who's very conflicted and fighting with themselves, wouldn't you say? This is the first piece that got translated from my buddy. It says, let's get this chariot in motion. Welcome to part 3 of whatever. Things are moving swiftly into place. I'm feeling good about communication. It seems like a good combo of easy attack for me. Devastating tragedy. I want to do more research. I have concerns about finding a large enough group. I want to avoid any parents. No pre or post school pickup drop off. I think parents are super likely to have a gun or attack me with scary ferocity. Maybe could attack an event at the on-site church. Please note what he said. Parents are super likely to have a gun or attack me with scary ferocity. Indeed, you little POS turd. There are several men whose children would lay down their lives, charge you with your guns without anything on them, and take you out. You coward. Shows here in his journals, his real manifesto, that he planned this. He went to school here. It was unsure whether or not he went to the Christian school. He did. His mother worked there as well for a period of time. What is disgusting through all this is that he was conflicted and struggled with it. I'm scrolling through here real quick to get to a specific piece. So again, this is someone whose parents supported his own transition. And in his own words, from some of the decodings, now that people know how to decode his manifesto, and that the images have been leaking online, even though YouTube scrubbed them, this is from his own words from a part of his journal. I only keep the long hair because it's pretty much my last shred of being trans. I am tired of being trans. I wish I was never brainwashed myself. I can't cut my hair now, as it would be an embarrassing defeat, and it might be a concerning change of character that could get me reported. Almost like he knows that trans people are allowed to act out. It just always gets in my way. I would probably chop it on the day of the attack. I don't want to dress girly all the time, but I guess sometimes I really like it. I know I'm not a woman, but I definitely don't feel like a man. Indeed, you are not. You are a slug. You are vile. You're a degenerate. I want to go through now what is happening on the left, how they're trying to immediately go to the gun grab. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. But worse than that, given that this is happening in church, the left politicians are mocking the children that were killed. Minneapolis will continue to be a safe haven for the trans community. Your prayers mean nothing when a trans person kills Catholics. This is the mayor of Minneapolis. He basically stated multiple times that we don't need prayers right now. Of course, he doesn't. And the lieutenant governor, protect trans kids. There's no such thing as trans kids. They're brainwashed children that have been polluted. Violence on the left. Again, there have been numerous studies online that shows degeneracy, the ability to pause one's moral code and do horrible things comes from the left. Left progenerates echo chambers. They have groupthink on the left. Most mental psychoses come from people on the left. All these are legitimate peer research papers. You can Google them. This is legitimate. The left breeds a psychosis of destruction, of violence. These are all headlines from this year. Queer people are buying guns. Prepare for Trump's America. The Trans Army, to all trans military members, we need you to contact your local trans organization and offer your support. We need you to train other trans people. Help them prepare for what's coming. Your skills and training will be needed. They're going to fear us no matter what we do. So let the fear come from a place of reality. Sounds like somebody who's completely deranged. A trans publication. As the Trump administration attacks trans people, some queer folk are armed and ready to bash back. Trans rights or else. They're coming for your kids. We all got each other. Death before detransition. What is it? Islam is the other one. If you once you're in, you cannot get out. Death before detransition. And again, woke left pundits. Praying is the problem here, not the solution. People use prayer instead of action. If prayer worked, a house of prayer wouldn't have just experienced this tragedy. Prayer is not freaking enough. Prayer does not end school shootings. Prayer do not make parents feel safe sending their kids to school. Prayer does not bring these kids back. Enough with the thoughts and prayers. And showing her hypocrisy. Wonderful. Circle back, Jen Psaki. There's been a litany of people on the left who identify as the demographic of trans. There is an publication, of X graph that is false, showing supposed demographics of trans. I am working on that myself. And there is not any sort of breakout right now that is out there. If you see anything on X, it's bogus, it's fake, but it's trying to break out the trans demographic from multiple races. I'm working on that myself. I've gotten pretty close, but it is damning. It basically shows that, yes, people on the left have a mental psychosis, a mental disorder. Transgenderism is a mental disorder, and it is a symptom of a larger problem. I think you get the picture of why I didn't want to talk about this one. I don't, and I'm trying to not to make this political. What I'm trying to point out is there is a severe issue underlying these shootings in America. There's an issue where we are not protecting our schools with armed officers. There's an issue where we are placating to people who want to pretend that there's something else, and we placate to that. You don't allow a schizophrenic to make cardboard wings and jump off a bridge and think they can fly. You don't tell an anorexic that they look good and they should continue doing what they're doing. No, when people have mental disorders, mental issues, you help coach them out of the mental issue. You don't supplant them and continue to encourage them through their mental disorder. That's what this kid needed. He needed help. He didn't need a family that was encouraging him to follow down this path. Inside, he knew what he was doing was wrong. Inside, he knew he was a man. But yet his family was woke leftist nutbags, and they encouraged him down this destructive path. I do blame the parents. He was living with the parents. The parents share some responsibility for this, for encouraging him to pretend to be a woman, for allowing him to live under their roof and not seeing that he was planning this for months, if not longer. I do pray for those children. I do pray for the victims' families. And frankly, I do pray for that POS that killed them. It's an awful tragedy.